Hello and welcome to my Minecraft Education Community Level 1 game. This is a 4th grade math game. It covers grade 4 operations and algebraic thinking, specifically factors and multiples. Okay, so it takes place in a classroom world setting. It was a game that already existed, a lesson that already existed. It was a lesson on digital citizenship, so what I did is I basically made a copy of that one and I modified it to include some math content. Okay, so starts off with, the player starts off looking at the math teacher, an NPC math teacher, and you click on it and the math teacher will give the player the directions for the level 1. So it says, welcome to Factor Fun. Please walk around the classroom and answer 3 questions about factors. If you need help, some of the students can help you. With each correct answer, you will be given a letter to form a 3-letter code. Okay. It says, when you are finished answering all 3 questions, return to me and click on the correct code to transfer you to level 2. Okay. So player can walk around. First, there's a little review, a little board that says, what are factors? Factors of a number. These are whole numbers that divide evenly into another number without leaving a remainder. Okay, so the very first thing the player is going to have to do is, these are the NPC students. As you can see on the top, it says, do you want to review factors? So for students that are struggling and need a little bit more support, they can click on the NPC, and it says it's okay if you forgot what a factor is. Click on the link below to review what a factor is. And so the student would click on this, and that would take them to a YouTube video tutorial on factors. So we have and there's different videos. So a couple different students, NPC students, have this option. So any student that says, and if there's an NPC student with nothing on the board, that's just basically just an NPC student, doesn't really give the player any directions or anything. So the very first task is to look for question 1, and there's question 1 right here. So there's another example of a helper right there. So let's walk a little closer to it. Helper robot, click on it, and it says click below to learn more about factors. Okay, and then student would click on this little button right here, and that would take them to a different video tutorial. Okay, so we'll start off by answering the questions first. Okay, so here's question 1. Mateo. It says, name all the factors for the number 12. Okay, so students can work out this problem on a separate piece of paper. And then there's 4 answer choices. When a student makes an incorrect choice, it says incorrect, try again. So then the student would make another attempt. And then the correct answer is, factors for 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So when the student answers that, it says correct. Your first letter for your code is D. Okay, so now student can look for question 2. There's question 2 right there. And it's Marcy, NPC student Marcy. Students are instructed, or the players are instructed, to name all the factors for the number 15. So once again, just like in the other example, when the student answers incorrectly, it says incorrect, please try again. So player would try again. So all the factors for 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. Okay, and it says correct, your second letter for your code is M. So player would have to be writing this down on a separate piece of paper. Okay, so now the player, and then these are just some posters that were already there on digital citizenship. Okay. So now this player would have to go and look for question number 3 by looking at the boards in front of the students, the student NPCs. Okay, we're looking for question number 3 because right now we have the first 2 codes, which are the first 2 letters of the code. Okay, and there's question number 3 right there. So we click on the student NPC, Susie. Name all the factors of the number 20. Okay, and once again, if they make an incorrect choice, it says incorrect, try again, so the player can try again. Okay, so all the factors would be this one. Oops, incorrect choice again. Okay, so 1, 2, 4, 5, 3 was not a factor, so here we go. And there it is. Your third letter for your code is Y. Okay, so now the player has all 3 letters for the code. So now they have to return back to the teacher NPC. Okay. There we go. There's the teacher NPC. Okay. And click on that. And it says, when you are finished answering all 3 questions, return to me and click on the correct code. Okay. So if they got the code, if they're just guessing and they got the code incorrect, click on that. Wrong code, try again. Okay. So once again, the correct code, if they answered all 3 questions correctly, would be DMY, and it'll teleport them to level 2. And there we are. Now they are on level 2. Okay, so this level 1 game is a really effective way to introduce and then, well, not introduce, but reinforce the concept of factors for 4th grade students. Okay, because students won't just be memorizing definitions, they're actively applying their knowledge to solve puzzles, and then that will help them advance in the game. Okay, the way level 1 promotes problem-solving skills is that the students have to independently seek information, and they have to overcome challenges. Each question is a challenge that they have to answer. Okay, they also have to analyze information and that's given by each of the student NPCs, and then they have to apply their understanding of factors. So level 1's a really engaging and fun way for students to review factors. Okay, and then when they are done, it leaves them on level 2.